Hey everybody, Jinza here, and welcome to another Small Bytes Plus. So, I do apologise we haven't done a Small Bytes for a good couple of weeks, but that was pretty much because I got behind after being away for Tanya's birthday. So, it's taken me a little while to catch up on the recordings. Obviously, the Let's Plays take precedent over most of the stuff on our channel just because they're harder to record. Obviously, I need Tanya here for that when she's not at work, and it's kind of a mishmash and everything needs to come together in a precise order. So obviously this has taken a back seat, but we are back once again, and this week we are looking at a game that goes by the name of AdVenture Communist. And yes, if you've played AdVenture Capitalist, yeah, that's right. It is a very similar game with obviously different overlays and a different sort of theme underlying behind it. For those of you not familiar with it, it is one of those click-intensive games that you've heard whispered on the corner of the internet where people have complained that they got carpal tunnel syndrome or they've broken their mouse because they've been clicking too much, and yes, it is exactly one of those. Fortunately, it is fairly automated, so it's a fairly casual game, so this would be quite a short video because the mechanics behind it are fairly simplistic, addictive in some sense of the word, but fairly simplistic by nature. So when you first start off, you are a communist and you are basically assigned to try and build up the wealth of your community and make a major town for, power and glory and all that jazz. So you start off as a potato farmer, and potatoes are your main currency and your main income of wealth. Do apologise. There's going to be might be some clicking in the background, sort of underlining behind my voice. Because, well, there's not really much way about it because this is a very click-intensive game. So you start off by clicking potatoes, gathering potatoes, and then upgrading so you gather more potatoes as fast as possible. But eventually you can buy these farmers. These are your bog standard workers. They're automated and they also automate while you're offline. So you can sort of come on and do tons and tons of clicking for 10 to 20 minutes, maybe half hour, or even longer if you're really susceptible to damage your hands. But, it's the options there. But basically, when you go offline, these guys will continue on gathering resources for you. Resources? I can never speak. Resources for you. So you basically can pop on this once a day and everything is done for you. So you start off, obviously, I said, doing potatoes, getting farmers, and then eventually you upgrade. Well, you need to get some land to get farmers, but you eventually can upgrade to automated land gatherers. I don't know how that works, but I guess there's a load of these little robots going around in diggers digging up the land and causing a mess and demolishing the beautiful landscape. Damn them communists. I'm joking. But, right, so for these, you need your farmers. So it's basically a progression up the ranks. So you need workers to get your potatoes, but then you also need workers to get your farmers to get your potatoes, and then workers to get your automated land gathering development, and then eventually you need miners to automate your mining, but to get those you need lots of workers, and each tier actually needs some of the higher tier. So if I wanted to get more ore workers, I would in fact need to intensively click on the weapons. So it does involve some clicking. You can't just suddenly, well, not until you've got like a decent lot. See, I have no nurses at the moment, but not until you've got a decent lot of each one of them can you really sort of start to benefit from the whole offline, don't really need to do anything, the game is playing itselfness. Yeah. So it's a very casual game, as you might imagine. It does occasionally reward you for clicking, so your event, I probably won't get any pop-up because it is entirely random. But from clicking, occasionally you get capsules come up. Sometimes you get basically resources, which is kind of a bummer because what you really want is scientists. And scientists can actually do experiments which give you different perks, as you can see. Most of the perks don't really last a long time, and obviously it's more if they're things for if you're actually online. So all click output is 2 times for 5 minutes, so on and so forth. I do think this could do with some tweaking, because I've played probably about half hour to an hour of it, and I've only got I think I've had 4, apart from the ones it gives you at the start when it's doing the little tutorial, but I think I've only had about 3 or 4 actually pop up in capsules. So as you can imagine, the rewards aren't really that amazing. I mean 100,000, that's going to take a long time to get, just to get a decent perk. Obviously that you can buy scientists, which is the whole real money for in-game stuff, which for this sort of game I don't really agree with, especially for the prices they're sort of offering. I mean £5 for 150 scientists, and you're not really going to get an awful lot out of that. I don't know. Once you've got so many, you can actually pay some scientists to unlock different perks. Obviously I haven't unlocked any of these because I haven't had enough scientists, but I did unlock the potatoes ones just so we could have a look at what it is, and you can buy different things with it. So you actually need resources for this as well. And once you've unlocked these, the colony is, I think you actually need scientists. Yeah. Oh no. So once you've unlocked these are actually quite good perks. You can pay basically tons and tons and tons and tons of your resources, but get some fairly decent things back from them, via like plantations and stuff like that. But as you can see, some of the prices are fairly hefty, and it is definitely more of a late game thing. You do get medals for getting different things, and they're all in the different options here. As you can see, you get ones for farming, landwork, mining, military, health and wealth. And obviously everybody that's really serious about playing this game is going for the big wealth ones. I don't believe there's an actual high score in game that I can tell, but I'm pretty sure they would have one somewhere, maybe on their site, of the current leaderboards. So obviously if you're a bit of a leaderboard hog, you're going to want to try and aim for the highest. Unfortunately, this wealth is actually accumulated with what you've got currently. So once you actually start spending stuff, so if we actually upgrade that to buy 100 at a time, and we don't want to buy 100 highs, well, I couldn't even if I wanted to, guys. But say we wanted to upgrade our worker capacity, so we've got more workers. So as you see, the more you spend, the more your wealth decreases. So there is a kind of balance and harmony to it. If you want to keep your wealth fairly high and not sort of go from scratch, that you do have to be a bit cautious of what you're spending your resources on. Obviously, in the long run, it's going to work out, because obviously more farmers you got, the more income you'll get in, just, while you're offline and while you're not around. But yeah, it's pretty much really, there is all to it. You do get some unlocks, but they're mainly for clicking, so you do need to click a lot. Luckily, this little upgrade thingy, the resources your guys gathered do count towards it. As you see, it's flashing, which is lucky. I have seen some games like this that do it, that only your clicks count, your passive stuff never counts towards it, which is kind of torturous, because I mean, if you could imagine trying to click to get 390,000, I mean, look, it hardly does any dent. My hand will be, well, it will either be the size of, I don't know, the mountains and really big and muscular, or it will literally be rotting away and broken, and it would not be a nice sight. So honestly, it's kind of addictive. For the most part, you want to try and do better. You want to see what you can unlock later. So, you keep clicking, you hope you're going to unlock something, you hope you're going to get capsules, you hope you're going to be able to get all your scientists to speed everything up and get to a higher tier as quick as possible. but at the same time, it's kind of repetitive. It would be nice to have some more music. The music is quite catchy, but it does get very repetitive because it's literally the same track over and over and over and over again. But I would say this is a fairly decent AFK game if you sort of want to maybe work it into your daily routine. So you sort of get up and maybe while you're having your breakfast, you just sort of upgrade stuff and then come back to it later and then so on and so forth. But for an actual game that gives you full-on entertainment, I wouldn't really say it does much. Like, I couldn't see myself sitting here for hours and hours and hours on end. But that's me. You know, some people may enjoy doing that, may enjoy the simplicity of it, and you know, I guess it can be quite relaxing and can get rid of a lot of frustration. But for me personally, I'd prefer to play something with a bit more substance. I'd like to see maybe more happening constantly. I mean, like even, you know, little animations or something going on. It's just this same screen over and over again. Sometimes it'll change and say, oh, you've got this, congratulations, or some little guy will pop up once you've hit a certain threshold and be like, now we need this. But other than that, there's not really a lot to it. I think it pretty much, if you've played Adventure Capitalist and any of these sort of click games and you've played that constantly, you'll probably not find too much enjoyment in playing another one that does stuff very similar. I'm not even going to go there. Does stuff that are very like the other ones. There we go. Yeah, I'm not getting into words that I'm going to mess up on today, guys. Well, I already have, but we're trying to avoid it as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, it's free, so you know you're under no obligation to put money down. You can come test it out for free. You might find yourself enjoying it and coming back to it every now and again. Like I said, just sort of popping on here and there and seeing how your economy is doing, seeing what upgrades and unlocks you can get. But yeah, so I think that's literally all I can say about it. It's pretty self-explanatory game, but yeah, so that was Adventure Communist. You can pick it up on Steam. The link will be down in the descriptionos. And you know exactly what to do. Like and subscribe. And we will see you next week, and I'll have something a bit more interesting and crazy, and I don't know. We'll see what comes along our way. Bye-bye.